Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie.
Join us for unbuttoned and unedited conversations.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to welcome Kat Barrell today.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be with you guys.
Yes, we're so excited to have you here, Kat. Thanks for taking time out of your day.
My pleasure.
Yes, and you're here because on Saturday night, you have a new movie coming out on Hallmark called Shifting Gears.
Yep.
Yes. So what can you tell us about Shifting Gears?
Shifting Gears is an amazing first feature from director Crystal Lowe as part of the Make for Mark program, which is an incredible program that Hallmark is doing to get more females behind the camera telling these stories. And Shifting Gears is about Luke and my character Jess. It's a love story, but it's also really primarily about these two people kind of entering the next phase of their life and inheriting their family legacies and also deciding for themselves how they want to live that legacy and what part of them they want to bring to that and how they want to move forward with that on their shoulders. And while simultaneously finding out how important the support of one another is to showing up as their most authentic self.
I love that. Yeah. No, we're excited for this movie. So Crystal is making her directing debut after we knew her as an actor. She came through the Make Her Mark program through Hallmark. What was something that you really liked about working with a first-time director?
Oh, I think I just love, first of all, I think some of the best directors are people who are actors. I think the two are so closely related. And often in the film business, I think because it is such a technical craft as well, it doesn't happen as much. But like in the theater, you would almost never have a director that wasn't an actor first or also an actor. And I just think that there is this understanding of how actors work, how to craft a performance, how to arc a performance, that sometimes gets lost on directors who come from the more technical side and just how to talk to actors. And I always say with directors and working as a director, like the only element that you don't have somebody else on set covering your back for is performance and story arc. For every other thing, you have your director of photography, you have your script continuity person, you've got your writers there. Like every other element is covered, but the only thing that no one else is watching is performance and performance arc. And that's why I think actors make such great directors. And that's why I think Crystal did such a great job, because she not only is an actor, she coaches actors and she knows and loves actors so intimately. So yeah, I just think it was like just fantastic to get to work with her, and also just the excitement of getting to support a first-time director. It's you know, you never forget your first time. And I was so happy to get to be a part of that for her.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the buzz around this movie is so layered, and Crystal is a big part of it. The fact that, you know, this is her first time directing in the Make Her Mark program. And then on top of that, we've got you, and we have Tyler, and we have the Postables, and we have the Heinies. And then we have everybody from the Good Witch.
So many fandoms.
Yeah.
Like, it's very fun. Even in the hype going up to it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. It's really nice to see the fandoms get to collide, and like for me to be learning more about the Heinies and the Postables. You know, I know so intimately my fan base and the Goodies and the Erpers, but like getting to see other fan bases and their excitement, it's so nice as an actor, as anyone working on film, because you kind of create in this vacuum. You know, you're there, you're with the crew, and you don't always get to see the reaction of people who are watching your work. It can kind of feel like you're throwing things into a black hole. And it's so gratifying when fans get excited and they create art and they talk about the movies and how it makes them feel. And like, that's why we do what we do. So it's a really gratifying part of the process to have these fans so engaged and so involved.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine that, because I think we've heard a few other actors kind of say that when, you know, you spend all this time making the movie and then you kind of walk away from it and you're into your next project, right? And then so it's fun to see how much it means to people.
Yeah, definitely. Totally.
So you play Jess, who is a female mechanic who I don't think we've ever seen before on Hallmark. So tell us a little bit about your character.
So Jess is, what I really love about Jess is that she is an introvert. Jess doesn't want to be in front of a camera. She has absolutely no interest in participating in this reality car show. She just really loves what she does. She's got her cars and her shop and her work, and like that's kind of all she needs, she says. And what I love about her journey is that she really has to push herself outside of her comfort zone in an effort to save her family's business. And I think it's such a beautiful commentary on also like family businesses, small businesses that are just dying off by the day, and how we need to support small business and what it means to people who have built their entire livelihoods around having these businesses. And I think, I love the relationship with Jess and her father. But what I just really love about this movie is that it's a romance and has so many beautiful romantic moments, but really at its core, it's about two people stepping into their own legacy and finding how they want to how they want to live out their family legacy, and what does that look like through them, and how much they need each other in the process.
I love that. I love the story depth that brings.
Right.
Yeah.
When you do that, there's a story in a story here. There's a show in a show. How was that to film or be?
It was so fun. It was really, really fun. I loved the American High Gear elements of, which is what the reality show is called in the movie. I'm like a huge sucker for, HGTV and all those shows. So it was just really fun to get to shoot those. And my husband actually played Wayne LaRouche, which is super fun. Yeah. So just getting to work with him and seeing him he's such a great host, and getting to see him just like so brilliantly play that part. But I love ensemble cast. I love actors. I love working with other actors. So those were the days where we just had everybody on set, and everyone was just brought so much, like all the guys we worked with playing all these quirky characters. And it was just so fun to get to, I love as an actor stepping back and watching other actors work. It's kind of like my favorite thing. And I really just love to see people doing what they do and doing the things they love. And I think you really get that with ensemble cast, especially with people who are coming in and maybe they're only get to be there for like 4 or 5 days. So they're just leaving everything on the floor. And it's so rejuvenating as an actor, especially if you're coming in and you're on every day of like a 16-day shoot, and you can start to feel fatigue. And those actors just like reinvigorate your energy supplies, because you just get to see them just like loving every second. And it's so refreshing.
That's really fun. It's feeding off other people's energies. I think we can all relate to. Yeah,
totally.
Do you have a favorite scene or favorite moment in the film that we can all look for?
Yeah, I have a few of them. I really do love the car show stuff. I think there's some really fun things in there. But I also I really loved Jess's relationship with her father. I think we have some beautiful scenes about the pressure she's putting on herself to sort of not screw up, and that it feels like it's all on her shoulders. And those were some of my favorite moments to shoot also, that I think are really great. And then all the stuff with Tyler. I mean, he's just like such an incredibly hardworking actor, and every scene with him, he really, really cares about the work and the story and making sure that everything feels really grounded and truthful, even though we are playing in a romance genre that has an element of like perhaps suspending your disbelief. But I think one of the things about shifting gears is that the timeline and the history of the characters feels so genuine and so grounded and real. And so we have some really beautiful moments, like the roller rink is fun, reminiscing about high school. I don't want to give too much away, but like the scenes with Jess and Luke talking about the past and how it affected them and sort of healing their hearts in order to move forward is, I think, also just feels very grounded and real. It's really nice to see those kinds of scenes in a romance movie.
We love that. I love that there's like those connection pieces in this movie. We've been hearing about those, along with some fun and the show. That's very much something that the viewers want to see. is there any like little Easter eggs we can look for in the movie?
I think one fun Easter egg is my car. Crystal chose the Thunderbird because it is the car that was used in Thelma and Louise.
Yes.
And I think that's pretty fun. I didn't know that until she told me.
Oh, yeah.
That's really fun, like a fun Easter egg. And I also think, what are some other little things? We've got some Rosie the Riveter callbacks, which are really important.
Yes. I saw the little bandana.
Yeah.
Us to show the evolution of that same idea, and we're still kind of fighting some of the same fight. And
absolutely, I mean, Make Her Mark is literally part of that fight, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're still doing it. We're still pushing the boundaries, and giving women the opportunity to do these incredible jobs. And so that was also a really fun conversation with our hair and makeup team and Crystal, just like building that look for Jess and having a little bit of a vintage vibe. I really love Jess's styling, and we really wanted to kind of call that back. And I think it really came out beautifully in the movie as well.
I love that. Plus it's a great look for for in a shop, right?
Totally.
Plus, Rosie the Riveter was strong but beautiful.
Yes, exactly.
There's a reason those posters are iconic, right?
They're iconic, yeah, and it's such an iconic image. And I think we wanted to still let Jess be feminine. Like, we didn't want her to just feel like she could have both styles. She could like throw on her overalls and get to work in her shop, but like it was really important to like see her in slightly more feminine things, because we wanted that look for her. And we wanted to show that, like, because you're a mechanic doesn't mean that you can't enjoy wearing like lipstick and dresses too.
Right. Yeah. It's literally my best friend. I mean, she's not a mechanic now, but she grew up helping her grandfather in his shop.
Oh, wow.
She's the one that fixes the cars and mows the lawn, but then she's the one with the red lipstick and stilettos, probably while she's doing it. So I'm excited.
Love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's totally her. So tell us a little bit, what did you love about this cast and crew? What's something special about it?
I mean, the ensemble element was huge. We had a lot of fun. I think also we shot in Ottawa, Canada. And so that meant a lot of us were in from out of town, which always just creates a different atmosphere of camaraderie, because you're kind of, it's the traveling circus kind of thing of what we do, which is fun, but it also is lonely. And that's when you lean on the people you're working with. We had such an incredibly hardworking crew. They're such a tight group. They work together all the time. It was really us being guests for them. And, it's a small film community in Ottawa, and everyone knows each other. And I just think it was it really felt very tight knit. Everyone knew each other, either because we were all have come from away and we're living in hotels and doing that out of a suitcase life that inevitably bonds you, or because this crew is just phenomenal, has been working together for years and years. So it definitely had a very tight-knit group very quickly type of feeling. So yeah, it was a special one.
Fun. I like that. Did you have any unexpected moments while filming?
Unexpected. I don't know about unexpected. I was actually in very early stages of my pregnancy when we were filming. So I was very sick. I was very, very sick when we were filming. And then, of course, we had our 2-year-old son with us, and he got a cold, and then we all got the cold. So I was like super pregnancy nauseous combined with very, very ill. I was very sick. And so I don't know about unexpected moments, but I just felt so incredibly supported. Like, I was laying down between takes sometimes. I remember running into our producer, Mike, in like the drugstore one morning with my hands full of like whatever things I could take.
Right.
And, and him just being like, whatever you need. Like they were so supportive and good, and just everyone rallied to try and help me through this thing that I was just navigating, and there's nothing you can do about.
Yeah, I would say that's unexpected.
So I would say that was a bit unexpected. I mean, I knew going in, like I was like, oof, let's see how this goes. But I didn't know how badly it was going to pick up, and it was tough. And I just felt like everyone rallied and just did everything they could to help me. And this movie just has leave it all on the floor, basically, kind of mentality from action to cut and then lay down. Yeah.
I love hearing that, navigating your work life and your family life and a toddler and a pregnancy. Like, so many working women can relate to that. Like, this is so many people's lives. It's like, how do I get through tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right? It's not about next week. It's like,
and also just having so many parents on set. I mean, our producer, he's got 2 boys, Crystal has 2 children, our director, even like so many of the people we were working with were parents. And I just think they just know, you know, you just look at each other and you're like, I get it. I understand what you're going through. And I think, you know, it's still scary as an actor to navigate being a mother in this industry. There is still fear around it and there's still stigma around it, but more and more and more I'm seeing a support and an acceptance that is so reassuring, and thank goodness that we're getting there, because it's a kind of a crazy business with crazy hours and unusual demands, and just to have that support, especially when you're away from home, is so massive.
No, I love that. And that's how we support women moving forward and knocking down walls. And as Crystal said, you know, it's like 1 in 6 directors is female. It's like, this is supporting women in all their roles and all the pieces is how we make all these things better. So I love that. That was such a supportive environment. And you know what? Women are going to love that, because you know what? So many are going to be like, oh, I've been there. Like,
I've been there.
How do you do your best under circumstances that are
outside of your control? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm so proud of Crystal. It was so wonderful to see her step into this role. And, you know, she was away from her family for a long time to do this work. And there's a lot of sacrifices behind the scenes that get made to follow your dreams and have these opportunities, but it doesn't come without the, you know, the added pressures and the heartache of those sacrifices. And I just so intimately knew what it feels like to like leave your family and to go and be in this high stress job. And I just think I'm so impressed with Hallmark for how they've run this program, because I've seen so many programs put in place for whether it's gender diversity or racial diversity behind the camera, which I think are amazing programs founded in such like great intention. But I think the problem with some of these programs is that they don't have the support put in place for the person that they are trying to lift up. So they kind of are like, here's the opportunity, but perhaps without the guidance for that person to succeed. It's a massive step. It's a massive job. And this was not an easy movie to shoot. And I think what the Make Her Mark program and Ashley Williams, who created and runs the program, did so well is making sure that Crystal had like so much support in an on-set directing mentor and her prep and the way they followed her and just made sure she was going to succeed. And she absolutely knocked it out of the park. So just on both accounts, I'm so happy to see this program, but also see how it's being run, which I actually think is almost more important than the program even existing. How do you actually do it?
We love that it's a longitudinal program, and the plan is actually to have it continue. This was the pilot, and then what do you change? What moving pieces do you have as you move forward, and it becomes a longitudinal program, and that's great. And this is how we break down those walls, and we get women's points of view out there instead of a man saying what the women's point of view is.
Yeah, totally. And listen, we have incredible, amazing male directors who do a beautiful job of these movies too. And I don't think it's ever about that or getting rid of that voice at all. But I do think, you know, Hallmark has a primarily female audience, and it does seem unusual that we don't have more of that voice kind of leading the room and leading the story. And I just think it's, I hope that other networks will take notice of this program and implement it. And I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Absolutely. I think exactly that. It's not that there's only one seat. There's Crystal said, that there's so many seats there,
so
and that the seats need to be filled maybe in a different way a little bit.
Totally.
And there are amazing directors out there. I mean, we regularly are blessed with Terry Ingram production, directing things, and Mike Roll, and lots of these just iconic people. But we'd like to continue to have those seats be filled more, at least. Let's get out of 1 and 6.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's so much opportunity for diversities of all different kinds behind the camera, writers as well. Like the people who are really driving these stories. And I think this is a great step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Kat, we have to wrap up because we know you have other obligations. If you could give us 3 words to describe Shifting Gears, what would they be?
Okay. I'm going to try to give you 3 different ones than I've already given. I will say it is it's timeless.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it is I'll give this one already. It's boundary pushing. And I would say that it is tender.
Oh, I love that.
I do too, especially because we're going into this like mechanics, and then you have tender
pieces.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Amazing. So where can people follow you on social media?
So people can follow me. I'm primarily on Instagram. My handle is @Kat Barrell. And then I am on Twitter or X or whatever weirdness now, under the same name. So I'm not under nothing else other than @Kat Barrell, the same handle as Instagram. And I am going to be live tweeting for the premiere of Shifting Gears. So if anybody out there is listening and wants to tweet along, please join Tyler and I, and I think probably Crystal will be on there too.
She's gonna try to get on. So
we'll be providing some behind the scenes snippets and little comments as we go, and watching along with everybody, which is really, really fun. So looking forward to that.
That's amazing. Well, we're excited to see Shifting Gears this Saturday night, and thank you for being here with us. And
thank you.
It was lovely to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you both. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for joining us.
For watching.
All right.